Then we go also, let's see, what about the language? There are two approaches for the language. Let's see first the toughest, the one that involves semantics decoding. So in 2008, 2008 was a really special year, 2008, 2009. Marcel Just and Tom Mitchell at the Carnegie Mellon University, they were able to deduct, let's say, ask a computer what you were thinking, if you were thinking of a hammer or a screwdriver, and the computer would answer with almost 99% of precision what you were thinking at, the word that you were thinking at. Of course, a car or a screwdriver is in different it's in many places. They worked with the Intel, so we need a really strong decoding abilities and skills. That is possible with a lot of computational power. And he achieved that. And Carnegie Mellon University, there is also the Intel Advanced Research Lab. His director is, again, an ex-DARPA director. I say again because, yeah, anyway, we'll see it later. And yes, thanks to some founding, they were able to come with this goal. A few years later, in 2017, the same guy published, they're going beyond bananas. Interesting title. They were able to mind read complex thoughts, like phrases, and also to forecast what the user would, what the person would have told after. It's possible to read ahead of the awareness, so it's possible to guess what a person is about to say. This time they were backed up by ARPA. They are really focused in forecasting. ARPA is the armed, while DARPA is the armed arm research arm of DoD, the Department of Defense. ARPA is a creature of the Office of Director of National Intelligence. It's kind of centralized office that was wanted by that guy after 1911 to have one common spike in the White House to foresee all the activities of the intelligence agency, and ARPA is their advanced research part of that. Anyway. Yes, if we go, I say we cross directors at that time in 2008. So with the first Marcel Just research, DARPA was also financing a project, financing that thing, so screwdrivers and so guessing words basically, because they wanted. They wanted to have telepathic communication on the battlefield between soldiers. So in order to do that, they need some prototypization, and I think Carnegie Mellon University, together with Intel, thanks to Marcel Just ideas, they realized that and they publish it. Of course, this was not on the news. But today, if you look at the BCI chapter called Silent Talk in Wikipedia, this links directly to the annual budget 2008 of DARPA. This was the first time that we had Silent Talk. Okay, this was the first time that there was a project about, let's say, an official project about telepathy through technology. Of course, it was sponsored by DARPA, but it was not so known. But if you look on the DARPA annual budget, we can find that 4 million projects. And if we go to Wikipedia now, it's properly documented. I said also that the language approach, the language reading, decoding from the mind could have two different approaches. One is going directly to semantic, as Marcel Just was doing. Another approach is by the NITE, that was implemented for the first time by the NITE Lab and the Gallant Lab, Berkeley, Google Facility for Artificial Intelligence. the preferred one, let's say. They did a reconstruction from perception. So when I think about hammer, I just think about it. My brain activity is the same as if I heard the word hammer. So if I read the part of the brain that is up to perceptions, what I hear, then I can decode my internal talks, not from the semantic, but from the perception part. It's a lot cheaper, it's a lot easier to do. And yeah, so they made it. This is basically the brain open to 360, yeah. And then the subject will look at some video and they can see where the activity is going on. Then again, they map like the video with the brain activity, and the next time, without knowing what I'm looking at, they can know that I'm looking at a cat or a shoes. A guy at the Media Lab just last year, 2 years ago already, oh my god, invented this prototype. So again, we are going through, this is telepathy through technology. So instead of reading the semantic, instead of reading the perception, I read the motor, let's say, when my muscle moves for saying a word, that's an activity that can be recorded and decodified. When I also think about the word I'm saying, and I kind of move, it's like an intention of moving my tongues and my mouth in order to say that. That works as well. I don't have to speak in order to that to happen. So they made like this sensor, and it basically reads what you want to say. And then they have like these earphones that are connected. Instead of being connected to the external part of the ear, they are directly into the bone. This is already a commercial product for sport people, for example. So you don't cover your ear, you keep hearing like the environmental part of it. And yes, and what's happening is basically that you can hear like something without anybody hear it, but at the same time you hear the environment. So it's basically like, yeah, you can talk with your AI personal assistant, nobody will recognize that, and you could have a fantastic chess game. Regina Dagan, 2008, was Project Silent Talk. She was the director at ARPA in 2015. She worked at Google at Project X. That was basically a super secret research project in Google. Nobody knows what was the output of that. They work a lot with mobile phones. And in 2017, she came out. Well, she revealed that she was the director at Building 8 at Facebook, and they were on mind-reading technologies. So again, $1 trillion, as Mark Zuckerberg said. Now, what's happening? It's from my point of view, like is that a lot of this research is financed by the military. The trick here is basically that, let's say there is some progress, they cover with military secrets. So the result of that project is partially public. Let's say some results will go public, but many results will not be published and will not be available for public domain. In this way, we hyperbolize a growth that is quite giving some space from the public domain knowledge acquisition. You see what I mean? So let's say I have a cool project. I got funding by the militaries. The best result of my project is kept secret. I don't know for how long time, and the rest, the little things, are made public. As like basically all the world works like this, then the interaction that I can have with you, if you have another kind of project like that, is on the uninteresting stuff level. While at this, on the military things, they have like real good toys to play with, and they can interact with each other with real good toys. That gives them like the chance to go a lot more far ahead than what we can do on the public domain. Anyway, this is the concept of, I bring here the concept of technological supremacy. At some point, the head of the pyramid will detach from the base. Anyway, let's go on.